Hey guys, Happy New Year. This is Jamie Russo. I am the CEO of the Global Workspace Association. So welcome to 2017. Given that it's the second day of January, I wanted to share a few predictions that we have for the shared space industry for 2017. So I wrote... Oh, there we go. Just reading a little text on the screen there. So I wrote an article for Work Design magazine with my 10 co-working predictions for 2017. And we used the term co-working to encompass all shared workspace, including serviced office, flexible workspace, and co-working spaces. And if you want to check out that article, go to workdesignmag.com or workdesign.com. Sorry. If you are not familiar with them, they are a fantastic industry resource. They write about corporate spaces, collaborative workspaces, trends. They have case studies. They have some really expert writers that do great articles for them every month. So I happen to be one of their expert contributors, and I wrote this article for their, they have like a subscription, a premium content subscription service, and they publish a couple of expert articles every month. So this article is written for that. So I can't give away all the details because it's behind their membership wall, but you can get it for $3.99, and I think it's worth it. But I thought I'd share just a few of them to kind of give you a teaser and talk about 2017. So the first trend that I see in 2017 really starting to hit its stride is asset owners, so building owners or building investors wanting to incorporate flex space into their buildings to create a real vibrancy in their offering for tenants, for the community. We see a couple of really interesting examples of this that I highlight in the article that I'll let you check out. But I saw this really come to light. I attended a NAIOP conference, that's N-A-I-O-P, and I'm not sure I know what that stands for. You can Google it, their OfficeCon conference in November, and it's a room full of a lot of asset owners and investors that have buildings, around the country, and they're trying to figure out how to keep it relevant and how to be current in their offerings. And they talked a lot about being interested in flex space, potentially bringing in a co-working space. And what I think was clear is that while they want this to be a part of their offering, they know that that's not their core competency, so they're looking for operators that they can partner with to run these spaces. So I think that'll be a real opportunity that we see in 2017, and exciting. So building owners kind of incorporating this in a different model than we see the typical, lease space in a building and try to talk the landlord into supporting your business model. That's kind of what we've seen historically, and now they're starting to totally get it and want it to be a part of what they have in their building and what they offer to their tenants in the building. I think another interesting trend is what I'm calling the combo model, where workspaces really diversify their offerings, not in terms of just like kind of meeting space and workspace, but also having cafes, having bars, having event space, really kind of making the space a part of the community. There's a great example of this called Covo in San Francisco. The website is hellocovo.com. And it's just, every time I go in there, I'm just kind of blown away by the vibrancy and just the real feel of the space. It's retail level. The cafe area is open to the public. And then after 5, the bar area is open to the public and they do events. But also they have just really great variety of workspace, phone rooms, offices, meeting rooms. And they partnered with West Elm, who has recently debuted a workplace offering. And the feel of the place is just really fabulous. And it happens to be in San Francisco, but I could see these types of spaces going really well in smaller markets where it's hard to support a coffee shop and a co-working space and an event space, but putting them all together. And it's not that uncommon from what we see in shared spaces. All shared spaces have coffee and lots of them have event space and workspace, but check it out and you'll see what I mean in terms of just really bringing each of those in a strong way versus sort of them being a subtle part and the focus being on the workspace. So hellocovo.com, check that out. I think that's going to be a really interesting trend that we'll see beyond that brand in 2017. And then, so I had 10 predictions, but I'm only going to share 3 today. So the third one is that I think we'll start to see larger spaces. People who start co-working spaces will go bigger. So the Global Workspace Association publishes a financial study. We did one in 2015, and we're about to launch it again in January. So if you're an operator, definitely stay tuned for that. But our data shows that larger spaces have a profit margin of 13% and smaller spaces 9%. So that's a pretty big difference. And that's obviously due to economies of scale, which there are not a ton of in our industry, but there are enough of them to make a pretty big difference there. So we've seen some big spaces. Enterprise 5280 in Denver, I think it's about 40,000 square feet. There is the Hub in Australia, just opened one that is 65,000 square feet and also has a cafe like Hello Kovo does. So we're seeing some real scale, and those can certainly have a lot of diversity in terms of how the space is set up. So Enterprise has some co-working, some dedicated desks, lots of private offices, but also floors that they lease to larger groups. So real maybe flex space versus co-working space. So the bigger spaces, I think, will tend to have a variety of models. And those are examples of very large spaces. In our study, the respondents, the average space was 15,000 square feet. So that means a number of them were larger, obviously, and some smaller. But, 15 to 20 to 30, I think getting into the 40 to 60 is maybe still the exception rather than the rule. But those are three that we're looking at for 2017. So thanks for joining me today, and we look forward to connecting more and sharing more data. We also did some really interesting phone survey research this past fall, and we are going to start sharing that on live video and on our blog posts as well. And like I said, we have our 2017 financial study that we're launching in January. So if you're an operator and you want to participate in that, send me an email, jamie@globalworkspace.org, and Happy New Year to everyone.